From the Streets newsroom in New York, I'm Jill Malandrino with your week ahead, along with Chris Ciaccia. And let's review the week that we just had because we saw some volatility come back into the market. I don't think there's anything that you can necessarily pinpoint. I just think there was an absence of buyers.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of selling the momentum names, high beta names. That's really kind of carrying over to other names, and we're starting to see a little bit of volatility come back in the market, and it's starting to scare some participants.
Right, well, we certainly saw it in the momentum names like your Teslas, your Amazons of the world, and clearly with the biotechs, the IBB, the ETF, certainly got beat up this week. Let's turn to the week ahead. We have a shortened week. We will be closed, U.S. markets across the board, on Friday, April 18th, in observance of Good Friday. Not really much on the economic data. We do have housing and building permits. We'll pay attention to that one, of course. Jobless claims on Thursday, but the earnings calendar really heats up. More with the banks. Citigroup on Monday. We also have Bank of America that has been, it had a little bit of, it's come back a little bit over the past week. Really nothing identifiable, but, and the reason you're here, our tech guru over at the Street, we have Google and IBM, and that's really going to light it up.
IBM's earnings are on Tuesday. Google comes out on Wednesday. Really what people are paying attention on Google is to see if advertising, click per cost, CPCs continue to trend down. That's always been a big thing for Google as the world moves to mobile. And as for IBM, it's kind of a slow, steady, there's really not much growth there. They've kind of just continued to manage earnings. So we're going to see if their cloud computing initiatives are really going to start to take off and actually affect the top line.
Well, what about Google's new business? Bernstein's analyst thinks that AWS can go to $20 billion in just a few years. That's quite a number as they continue to roll out various businesses.
Yeah, Google and Amazon are really competing for the cloud computing space. If Google can actually pass Amazon Web Services, which is the leader in cloud computing right now, that's a really big thing for Google. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think $20 billion on AWS is a little bit high, so I would be a little bit caution there.
And what about your thoughts on tech in general?
I think right now we're just seeing the selling of the momentum names. I'm not sure whether it's supported by the fundamentals. I think some of these names have really gotten ahead of themselves. But this is really going to be a key earnings season because there's been so much promise and so much hype on some of these names. We're going to see if these companies can deliver or not.
All right, and finally on Thursday, we're going to wrap it up with industrial conglomerate General Electric. And I happen to like this one here as well. I think the big key here is that the restructuring is executing. And I think that's something that people want to see in the banks as well. No longer this big conglomerate it's not the trend anymore. They're looking to break it down into more manageable businesses. And I think they're on the right path. So going to look for a lot of data points from them, not just on the company, but for the overall macro picture. For the Street in New York, I'm Jill Malandrino along with Chris Ciaccia. Have a great weekend, everyone.